Kottonmouth info, hit him stunts, he's the man.
Yo, Cottonmouth Kings don't stand for game. Cottonmouth Kings just left the nut.
What's up, everybody? I gotta fix this up real quick. We got Loc in the house. I'm gonna give him a little intro and whatnot. I'm sorry about the hold up there, but we will be getting going. And just so you guys know, D-Loc cannot see you right now because the way we got things set up. But of course, where are we here?
Can you see me right now?
I can. Yeah, they can hear you too right now.
What's up, everybody?
Let me see here. All right, guys. So we got fucking D-Loc in the house. What up, Loc?
What's up, Dots? I'm sorry you can't see me, man. It's kind of weird.
Like,
but all I can see is myself.
For sure. I can see you, and everyone else watching can see you, but like I was telling them, unfortunately, Loc cannot see you right now. He doesn't have the chat going or nothing. But I will be sure to relay anything that we need to or whatnot and so forth. First things first, man. We're gonna have to smoke a bowl.
Is that what we're gonna do right now?
Yes, sir.
Sean, check this out.
Oh shit! You're smoking on your own shit out there, huh? Man, I'm gonna.
I wish I could send you these in the mail.
Yeah, no.
Right now.
Man, I need to get my hands on some of that.
All right, let's all smoke a bowl. That's cool, huh?
Hell yeah, man. Let's do it to it.
I'm gonna pack it up.
For sure. I got mine ready to roll. Whenever you're ready, bro. First,
count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's puff one.
Rip it. Hell yeah. Everyone down in the chat's burning one with us. Very nice to see. Everything sound good out there? Let me know in the chat before we get going.
Yeah.
Shit, before we get going, Loc, I just want to say, man, thanks so much for doing this. I know I've been telling everyone, like, this was all your idea, so I very much appreciate you coming on and shoot shit with me, man.
No worries, dude. Thanks for having me. I think your channel's super cool because people get informed.
Yeah, man.
On what's going on Mount Kings and the history and stuff like that. And I'm kind of a fan at it because it's just so into what we've done and everything, and like people make shows out of it. So thanks for updating people and keeping me entertained. And I'm a fan as well. So thanks for all the help. Plus, it spreads the word. It spreads the message. Whatever we're doing, you seem to get involved behind it. So it's cool, man. We appreciate that. And there's no other. It's great when the homies get involved and just want to be a part of what we created. It's super special to us and everybody else. And have you do what you do means a lot to the guys and everything. It's cool. It's kind of like a Kottonmouth Kings news station. It's pretty neat. So,
yeah, man,
keep it work, brother.
Hey, thanks, dude. Yeah, and you know, like when I started the whole thing, I was like everyone else. I was just like, I wonder what's going on with all this stuff, you know. And there wasn't too much online, and so I tried to just kind of make something and keep the ball rolling. And luckily, it picked up, man, and people started watching. So I'm happy to do it. They're fun videos to do. Especially nowadays that, you know, there's a lot happening. So fucking
yeah,
I'm looking forward to making a lot more, man.
Yeah, sweet. Good.
So I think we're gonna have Donald Severance jump in and join us for a little bit because, of course, the anniversary of Royal Highness. It was a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And I know we wanted to talk a bit about that.
August 11th or August 12th it was. Can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, man. And it's like, I appreciate the fact that you wanted to spend some time talking about that album, because I mean, that's the album that changed a lot of people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, I hear it all the time. People hit me up because, as casual of a fan as I was, or whatever, a lot of people hit me up that tell me like how honestly that first album really turned the tides for them. Not only just being a youth or whatever, but as a movement, something that they took very serious. And then you go back and listen to Royal Highness, and you realize like how different that album is compared to the rest of y'all's stuff. And so I think it's such an interesting hip hop album, you know, in general. So I mean, I just have so many questions about like the making of that album and whatnot.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to answer? Want to ask some questions, or just talk about it?
Yeah, well, I have a few questions that I would like to ask you about Royal Highness. Like, I guess we've all heard the story, you know what I'm saying, about how KMK basically got started. Like, you're like one of the founding members, but can you maybe walk us through getting the group started and getting to Royal Highness, like how that all happened?
I'm gonna say all this in a book that I've been working on for a while, but
oh man,
I'll say stuff like that'll make a lot of sense. It started off like I met Saint. You know, God, I want to tell you everything because there's so much stuff I want the book to explain.
Yeah.
But I will skip a few years, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump right in, skipping a few years, because I'll save those prior years on how the group really got together and stuff like that. But me and Saint were friends. My cousin, my older cousin, D-Loc, used to live in Riverside, and he was really into rap and stuff like that. And Saint and Haas lived like a block away from him. So me and Saint became friends at a pretty young age. Me, Haas, and Saint became friends at a pretty young age. And then I was always going up to Riverside, hanging out at my uncle's house during summer breaks and weekends and stuff like that. And that was when I was skateboarding a lot. That was like early 90s, 90 or, 80, late 80s. We had a half pipe. We had all kinds of fun stuff up there. It was right there in Riverside. And Saint used to hang out and skate, and his brother Haas did. And so we always used to play basketball. Then it started, fast forward a few years, we're still doing the same thing. I started playing basketball in high school. Saint was balling too. We had a friend, G-Mac, George Woods. He lived right up the street from everybody. He was a friend too. And Saint used to come down to my basketball games when I was playing varsity basketball my senior year, and hanging out a lot. So we started hanging out a lot more and more my senior year in high school. That's when me and Saint started hanging out a lot. But we were always hanging out on weekends and summer breaks prior to that. But by senior year, we connected. He started coming down, watching me ball. Hey, Yo Loc's playing Friday night. He's gonna kill it, and blah blah blah. We always used to ball pretty hard. Me, Saint, and our homie George G-Mac up there. So when me and Saint started hanging out, we were going to shows, going to some punk rock shows. We were going to Hollywood. We started, going to clubs up there and hanging out with Brad X in nightclubs. And we met Brad. I knew Brad the whole time. I knew Brad the whole time, but I started introduced him to Saint. This is when we were 18, 19 years old, going to the clubs up there underage. Right when I was graduated high school, going to junior college. I played basketball in junior college at Golden West Junior College in Southern California. And Saint was actually playing a lot of basketball at the time too. We were hanging out a lot during that era. So we started going to Hollywood and going to the clubs, the Roxbury to be exact. That was one of them. Trips was another one. there's all kinds of clubs. Brad was he was a club promoter.
Yeah.
Him and Lou Dog promoted clubs. So we were going to punk rock shows, right, and just hanging out in the club scene. Next thing you know, we were like, we were just like, yo, let's start rapping. We were rapping a lot at the time, and we were like, yo, let's kind of like Humble Gods kind of almost inspired us in a sense, watching them with the other punk bands. So we're like, yo, you know what, let's go back and just write some raps, and we wrote a lot of the first raps. Some of the first raps we wrote were in Saint's mom's house, going back up there, hanging out. We used to go back and forth from my house to his house and party. This was in the summer, so I was out of school, so we were just going back and forth. And we actually wrote some of the first raps in his mom's house, actually in his mom's bedroom, to be exact. She had a bumping stereo system, so she had like a tape-to-tape recorder. And so we started like writing raps early, like not early, but right out of high school. And that's how kind of the group started with me and him. Some of the first raps we wrote, the song we wrote was Bump. Like the verse, Young Politico, Psychoanalytico, Undefeated Champ, like that whole verse was like one of the first raps I ever wrote. And Saint was writing a lot of raps too at the time. Saint was into music. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Saint was actually, he was going to church a lot. Saint was he was a man of the Lord. So he used to go to church a lot, even as a young kid. When I met him back in the day, he was actually doing gospel gangbang, like gospel gangster raps, like banging with the Christ. So he was rapping with, he was rapping with dudes that were in church, old gangsters up in Riverside, that were like, gang banging with the Lord, boom, 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 y'all swing my sword. They're just writing raps about gang banging with like the Lord. I would save them. So Saint was doing that when I met him. He already knew how to like, he already knew song structures. Like, okay, we're gonna, Lo, like check it out. We're gonna do a 16. We're gonna rap this right here. Then we're gonna do a chorus. I'm like, what's a chorus? It was all new to me. I was just emulating music at the time that was on MTV in songs and rap, and I wasn't a student of music. I was a fan of music. Yeah. And I could rap over people's shit pretty good and just emulate and just do my own thing with it. Whatever, you know what I mean? Nothing special. I was rapping over people's shit, like just emulating them. Just like we do, like just copying them and shit. And so, but Saint actually knew structures and knew songs and actually knew like patterns, and just he already was doing it before Kottonmouth was even started. Yeah. So Saint already had the formula. He already knew the formula of writing. It was new to me. I was learning every day by Saint. I was little homie just packing weed, 18, 19 years old. Saint actually moved in my house when we were hanging out so much. He actually moved in my bedroom when I was 19 in my dad's house in Placentia, P-Town. And then we started forming Kottonmouth OC, Kottonmouth Crew, Kottonmouth PTB. This was all with a C that we were doing raps on, like, I remember, like, remember back in the day, people had voice messages. Leave a mess, I'll call you back. Right now. I mean, we were like rapping on like all the voicemail messages and stuff. We were just inspired by going to punk shows. We'd never been to a rap show at the time at all. It was all we were inspired by punk. We weren't never even been to a rap show. So this is all happening pretty fast. So we started hanging, pretty heavily from 19 on. And from our experiences, from him moving into my house, we started rapping. We started going to clubs more and more and more on the weekends, and just rapping with people. We'd be in the club, and next thing you know, we start rapping the Pimp Twist. It's the Pimp Twist. PTB is the crew. That's the lady. We were rapping the songs in front of, like, right in front of everywhere, in front of just anybody we could, hanging out with Brad, on the weekends, going up to rapping our songs, and kind of started formulating from there. And Royal Highness was written by just, that was all me and Saint's experiences hanging out with each other from like 19 to 22. We released that record. So that record was written from all those experiences we took from that time, hanging out with each other, living together, clubbing, partying. We were inseparable at the time.
Wow.
And we were for a long time. So
Yeah.
that's what Royal Highness reflects. Those experiences of us hanging out. And we were just living at my pops's. I got Kottonmouth, I got to take a drink. We were living at my pops's at the time. So we were writing about, we are products of our environment, you know. So we were writing about what we experienced, suburban life. We were just, that's what was the inspiration behind that record, living in the suburbs, you know, like suburban life's about my dad. Like the first lyrics, like, now my pops bought the system.
Yeah.
Talking about my dad, American dreamer. He bought a new home and a brand new Beamer.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
then we're starting rapping about the neighbors. It didn't take long for things to fall apart because the system that he bought got no heart. Like from the bills for days. Like we're literally rapping about my dad and neighbors at the time.
Wow.
And that inspired suburban life. And that was just us hanging out. That was how Royal Highness, that's what that was. Just us hanging out, having fun. We did a lot of skateboarding. We played a lot of basketball. We smoked a lot of weed. We drank a lot of beer. We went to a lot of clubs. We partied. And we started claiming Kottonmouth. And we're, at first it was like, we didn't, there was no Kings or whatever, you know. There was just like Kottonmouth. Like I have some of the first flyers over there, all up in there. I have a bunch of shit in that closet.
Oh shit.
Like all our stuff, like that has like Kottonmouth Crew, like what Kottonmouth OC. Like we were trying to figure out our name at the time. We were writing that on flyers, doing as many shows as we could. I was beatboxing. We were doing shows at the Shack. It was this little club in Placentia. Somehow we got a plug on doing shows there. New promoter. I was beatboxing. He was rapping. We were just hanging out a lot, and you know started evolving, going to LA more, hanging out with Brad, and things started evolving. We started writing more, but we wrote the whole record. Richter got involved, you know, a little bit after all that stuff, like, you know, all those songs. Richter got involved shortly after, and then he quit when we went to LA to record the record. Richter ended up going with us. We were going to record Royal Highness. We already had almost half, you know, I'd say a quarter of the record written before Richter stepped in and started. Before it was, hey, yo, let's be like the Beastie Boys. Let's get Richter. He lived 5 houses down from me, so he just rolled up in his bus and we were there just smoking, and Brad was in the bus, and you know, and like, oh, let's just get Richter in the group. And I was sort of, all right. So Richter started coming in the group and started like writing his little parts in some of those original songs. So we started changing some of the original lyrics we wrote, and Richter started filling his lyrics in to like some of those songs. And but we moved to LA to write the record, and Richter went there too. But Richter ended up going, like he ended up going back home about 2 weeks later. He said, I can't make it no more. You know, I got to go home. I'm sick or something like that. So we're like, all right, fuck it. Bone out. Do whatever you got to do. We're going to write the record. We're about to get a record. So we ain't letting nothing hold us up. So we rewrote the part. We rewrote Richter parts, and we then put our original parts back in and stuff like that. So, and it was great, man. Royal Highness took a lot of shape. We recorded the record like 3 or 4 times in different studios.
Oh wow.
In LA, and pretty soon we got a record deal, and then we went to A&M Studios and recorded that right there off La Brea, A&M Studios, and recorded Royal Highness for that was like the 3rd time we recorded it, and that's when the Capitol got involved, and they had a bunch of the A&Rs coming in, like watching me and saying record, and like you know, doing all kinds of, you know, stuff like that. Just it was new at the time and fresh, and it was cool. It was exciting. When we got signed, the same guy, you know, who signed the Beastie Boys signed Kottonmouth Kings. You know, Gary Gersh was the same dude who signed the Beastie Boys in like the early '80s. He signed me and Saint, and me and Saint got the record deal for Kottonmouth Kings. We don't. No one else was around at the time. Me and Saint up there and rapped and got the record deal. There wasn't Bobby, there wasn't Pac or Richter So
Yeah.
we were like the image, the sound, the voice for Kottonmouth, and that's what birthed it. And that record did really well. We had like 3 songs on MTV, on Royal Highness. I know, it's like it's gone gold. Like it went gold a long time ago. It's platinum now. So it's just been. It was the birth of Kottonmouth, and that set the tone. And then after that, Saint left. The Saint ended up leaving the group, and then things took different shape. From that point, the sound changed.
For
the
sure.
Sound changed dramatically. We had single Dog's Life, Bump, Suburban Life, and then the High Society came about, and then we had like Peace Not Greed. It was like all of a sudden it was a different sound. There wasn't like a follow up, like a reggae, like a Dog's Life, like another follow up. It was a whole new sound came in with different people, and it got a little crazy, a little wild when Saint left, and it took new shape. So, but man, Royal Highness is a great record. I can't believe it's been 27 years.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
E-Man, we had a lot of production on the record. It was done by E-Man at the time. He was the guy that Brad X knew that was giving us beats. He lived like in Watts. He was a homie. He lived like, his neighborhood was thick where he was at. I remember it was kind of intimidating going to his house. I knew where he was from, and it wasn't the safest spot, to say the least. And we were going to get beats from him back in the day. And he made a lot of those beats for us back on Royal Highness, which was cool. A lot of the other production was done by Andre and Keith Williams. They were these brothers, blood brothers. They lived in, they lived in Hollywood. They gave us a lot of beats. Some of the original. Marco Farconi, made the bump beat. He's. So thank him. So and then Byron DeLear in Mellow B was a great experience. He did all the other beats on the record too. So it was fun. We got beats wherever we could. Brad got it. Brad X got us all the beats at the time, and me and Saint pretty much did all the songs and wrote everything and just inspired each other with the sound, the style, the image, like the punk. Right. Saint had like spikes. Saint had like spikes in his hair and like gold teeth in fronts in his mouth in like '98 on MTV. People are like, that's like popular now. Like Saint was things back then that are popular now.
Oh, for sure, man.
Rapping, slurring, style, and
most definitely, man. It's crazy.
And so it's been great. Royal Highness has been a fun record, and it's touched a lot of people. And it's got Kottonmouth Kings. It has got Kottonmouth Kings a lot of places, a lot of respect.
For sure, man.
And it's been fun playing all the music for everybody, and it's still fun to continue to play the music for everybody that me and Saint and everybody else created 27 years ago.
Yeah,
but Judge, the thing it's cool about, because Judge D and Chucky or whatever, like I've known Judge D since before I met Saint, like junior high school. So him being on stage doing the music and Saint songs and everything is just like meant to be and stuff. So it's fun doing all this live too. Still to this day, we still have fun songs like Bump and So High. And
Fuck yeah.
Some of people's favorite songs still.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's crazy that you say like how y'all wrote the album just based on what y'all were doing and shit. Because like you say that, and now I'm looking back, like Dog's Life is basically just autobiographical. Like literally, they talk about D-Loc and the beats and skating and shit, and it's like all literally like
stuff came about. Yeah, it's cool. It's like, and we still do that stuff. Like, it is what it is. We were just like, it was cool. Like, my name came about. It's not like I named myself D-Loc. I want to be D-Loc, this gangster rap, whatever. Like, my cousin D-Loc was like super into like, he had a lot of gangster friends, and he was he listened to a lot of gangster rap when it first came out, and he was getting like gangster tattoos back in the day, and like, he hung around a lot of thugs, and I was always going up there, and I was just, his dad was my brother, was my dad's brother, older brother, and D-Loc, you know, so it's like, yeah, that's my little cousin D-Loc, and it just stuck. Like,
Yeah.
I had that name. Like Richter can tell you, I signed his like 7th grade yearbook D-Loc. Like I was D-Loc way before Cottonmouth King started. Like
Yeah.
I was tagging it in like 6th and 7th grade,
Fuck
like
yeah.
in people big block letters and stuff like that. So it was just a name given me by. It's funny you say D-Loc because I've been wanting to tell people like that's how the name came about. It's not like
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
That's
like,
interesting.
I had no choice. Like we started coming, I was like, it was like Saint was like, yo, your name's D-Loc, bro. Like whatever. Like you ain't changing that. Like that's is what it is. That's what everybody calls you. So you can't. You're like it, you know. So that's what it was. And then I remember we were coming up with Saint's name and all kinds of stuff at the time. And we were doing that though. That he was like Saint pretty much was like, well, that's your name, but you can't change it. That's what your family calls you. So your cousins and stuff. So we're gonna have to call you that. Like you know.
Yeah.
Like, so.
One thing I always found very interesting and kind of something that made Royal Highness set aside is how much love I guess Saint showed to Haas in that album. Like Haas was like
he did. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Haas seemed to be a big part of he seemed to be in the album like throughout the whole thing, just spread out a little, you know. Like it just
did.
Either whether you're just mentioning him or if he's actually rapping. Like, can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I can, and it's cool that you say that because it's cool for people to know it. Saint was really affected right when Cottonmouth King started. Haas, I think, was 18 or 19 at the time.
Oh wow!
No, 21. No, Haas was right under 21, I think, and right around there. Right, I don't know to be exact, but pretty close to those ages. And Haas ended up going to jail before, like right as Cottonmouth Kings was. Right when me and Saint were like rapping, it wasn't even Cottonmouth Kings. We weren't even formed a band yet. We were just like rapping. Like right when we were like started rapping and getting into like writing songs, or like we were writing all these songs, like Roll It Up. Then we like started writing all these cool songs. Like Saint was the godfather of Cottonmouth. Saint was Saint. There was no Cottonmouth. Saint is Cottonmouth. He will always be number one. Cottonmouth Saint.
Show, yeah.
You know, like, and I'll be number 2.
That's
the way. You know what I mean? And Saint will tell you, anybody will tell you. And I'm number 1 since Saint's not here. So
for sure.
The Cottonmouth birth, that's what it was. And Saint was really affected by his brother going to prison back in the day. And that really affected him. And I can see he was trying to escape it as much as he could by partying a lot, messing with chicks, partying, you know, doing crazy shit at an early age, maybe doing a little too much partying. So that affected him, and he had a lot to say when it came to his brother. And he was very inspired by him, by Haas as well. Haas did a lot of music. I remember back growing up, like, Haas had him and Haas shared a room when they were in school. Saint and Haas, they shared a bedroom, living where they lived on the train tracks. Up on Riverside in the Indian Hills, Harupa area, Tyrolite, you know, Tyler and Harupa cross streets. So Haas was really into music and doing a lot of stuff like that before Saint even was. And so when Haas went away, Saint was super affected by it, and he wrote a lot about it. And it was cool because Saint was so talented. He always, you know, he was like, yeah, like, you know, he would never really talk about it, but he would always talk about it in the music. And he had a lot of stuff to say about like the system, like getting his brother. So Saint was responsible for a lot of that early, like, fuck the system type shit in Cottonmouth, like anarchy, like, fuck that, like, you fucked my brother up, so I'm gonna write these songs about the government. You know, he was writing songs about like the judicial system and like, you know, like the system, like it was just it was a trip. Like he was writing a lot of it in his music, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So that affected him a lot, and he always told me like and he always wanted to be like his brother, you know. And when Saint, later on went to prison himself, he was like, he was always trying to copy his brother, and Haas was always like a big inspiration to him. And Haas was like his number one idol, like in his eyes. He couldn't wait for Haas to get out, and he had dreams about rapping with his brother and doing music with them because they were very talented. Those two,
Yeah.
they knew a lot of music at an early age. Most people didn't. They didn't go to school for music or nothing. They just knew it somehow.
No shit.
Saint spoke a lot about that, like through his music and stuff like that. So when he did that song about his brother being in prison,
Yeah.
like the phone call thing was so deep. One of Saint's favorite rappers was Tupac, and Saint loved Tupac, and we used to bang Tupac like religiously, Dog Pound and Tupac were like that. Those were like our go-tos. Like, so Saint had we had a lot of go-tos, but those are some of them. And Saint was really inspired by Tupac, and Tupac used to like for revenge, for my sins. Tupac always used to do that type of stuff with the flow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? When
Yeah,
you do that type of stuff. Like, you do or no?
Yeah. And then now that you're saying it, I totally see what you.
Tupac, so
I never
Saint
picked up on that.
Saint was doing a lot of that, like going out to big house up in prison.
Yeah.
And anybody who got fucked by the sis, like he was like emulating Tupac a lot, and I can tell by the way he was rapping. And
Yeah.
it was so cool to me because I always thought I was just learning how to write. And Saint was my teacher. Saint taught me everything I know about music. And I always thought it was so interesting because Saint could rap so many styles, and he can slur, do country rap,
Yeah.
he can rap, he can do punk, he can rap like Tupac. Like, so when he did that song about Big House up in prison in the phone conversation, it was deep, man. And it really, I remember we were drinking in the studio at the time, and it was like, and he used to drink and get really into it. Alcohol bring those emotions out of you. So
Yeah.
he had a lot of character, Saint in his character, and whenever he rapped, he was always in a lot of character, and people felt what he said.
Yeah.
And so
Most
those
definitely.
were special times when he was
Yeah,
doing
man.
those songs, and it was cool. I always thought that was a great idea because he did both the voices. The answering, rap, the rapping, like, he was doing he did the answer back on the phone, like rapping back to himself, but kind of in his brother's voice. I always thought it was very unique that he did that. And that song was like a super hip hop song to me compared to a lot of our other songs we did at the time. Cause we were doing a lot of like, what's your trip? Like we were like kind of like punk rapping in a little like, kind of in a sense. And Saint can rap like really G too, and really gangster, like if he wanted to. And so some of those songs were really dope. A lot of those songs were really dope that he did, and that song was dope. Specifically, like he did that fresh, and I thought it was. And I said a couple in the song. I didn't know lyrics in it, but I said a couple lines in it, like. I think I did a couple answer backs in that. If you listen to the song, there's some answer backs in it. I think it's me answering back, and it's like me breathing. I'm doing like the breathing in the background and stuff like that. So if you listen to the song, it's me doing all the answer backs and the breathing, and Saint just, busting. We had a lot of songs. Like we were in the studio recording. We had so many songs. We didn't know what songs were gonna be on the record. We were just like this one now. We were literally doing like 5 songs a day. It was crazy,
No shit.
We had a lot of material. We were hanging out a lot, living together. We moved to LA. And when we moved to LA, right, Royal Highness record, me and Saint moved to Brad's house. Brad had an extra bedroom at the time. A bedroom just freed up in Brad's apartment. And it was in between Sunset Boulevard and like in Holloway, in between Sunset and like Santa Monica. We were right in the cut of LA and Hollywood. When we were writing Royal Highness, we wrote the record over. We wrote a lot of it at my dad's house, and we moved to Hollywood at the time. This is all happening really fast. We moved to Hollywood. Rest in peace to Rob Harris. You heard Rob Harris lyrics? Ever his name in our lyrics?
Yeah.
So you've heard Rob Harris's name, then. That's great that
For
you
sure.
have that. You're like that's crazy that you say for sure. Like it's just, oh yeah, I heard of him. Like a lot of people don't know that, but you're such a student. You're like, oh yeah, I know Rob. To me, it's really cool that
I hear these names, and I'm never sure who exactly it is, but you hear these names pop up. Like
right, Rob Harris. I'll tell you. So me and Sane moved into Rob Harris's bedroom. That was the room that freed up that we moved into when we ended up writing Royal Highness over again. Excuse me, put this down here. I like to get my little promo in.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So look at this shit right here. Look at all this. Ugh.
Dude, I need to get my hands on some of that shit.
I know, somebody just gave us. We moved into Rob Harris' room when we moved up to Hollywood. We moved up to Rob Harris's bedroom in Brad X's apartment. That's where we slept on sleeping bags, me and Saint, on opposite sides of the bedroom. One guy over there on the floor, one guy over there on the floor. No beds, and we had like a desk. You know, we went to a thrift stores down in L.A. and bought a couple things we bought a little desk, you know, and had a little pipe, and we had a closet full of clothes and sleeping bags. And Rob Harris passed away. Rob Harris was going to be the original DJ for Kottonmouth Kings before Bobby B got involved.
Oh, okay.
Rob Harris, Brad's #1 DJ, was Brad's roommate at the time, and he was shooting. He was an extreme athlete and a great DJ. He taught Bobby B a lot about DJing. Rob Harris did. Bobby B used to love the way Rob Harris DJ and learned a lot from him. Bobby, you know, studied Rob Harris a lot. Like Rob Harris used to DJ a lot of Brad X's clubs, and Bobby B started DJing Brad X's clubs and vibing on Rob Harris. And just Rob Harris was, you know, doing a lot of stuff back in the day that, you know, mixed him really good. And so Rob Harris was also an extremist. He was the first guy to jump out. Remember back in the day when people jump out of the planes with boogie boards, like during the Mountain Dew commercial. This was like, and people remember like they start jumping out of the planes with snowboards and like going upside down, spinning. You remember that in the early X Games?
The extreme 90s.
So actually, he was in the X Games, and it was dope. He lived with Brad. He was in the X Games. Brad X actually got a tattoo of Rob Harris right here on his arm. If you ever see Brad's tattoos, one of them is Rob Harris, and that's a tribal snowboarder he got on his arm right here. That's the upper tattoo he got there. Rob Harris after he passed away. And I used to hang out with Rob Harris. I used to drive to him to the clubs, Brad X's clubs, and I was back in the day, you know, that's why I used to get into the clubs. I used to carry his records in, like, yeah, he's carrying or whatever. Like, it would mess with me, and I would just hang out in the DJ booth. I would just never leave, and I'd be in the club. So Rob Harris passed away. He was actually in extreme sport. He was in X Games, did all kinds of stuff, and he was shooting a Mountain Dew commercial. And he was dressed up as James Bond in a suit. He was acting like he was James Bond. He was going to Mountain Dew, jump out of the herring, you know, fly down with his board on out of the plane and drink his Mountain Dew. And in the background, where you see the records, like they wanted to get the mountains, you know, so he wanted to get the all blue sky, and also they wanted to get the mountains in the back where he crossed the mountain line, and he was going to pull the chute and do whatever. So they were going to do it. He was going to pull the chute pretty low just so they can get the shot in the commercial, they can get the horizon line. And the chute never opened, and he hit the floor, you know, and I can't imagine that. Yeah. I know how crazy that would be. And while that happened, Brad was really hurt by it, and getting his tattoo, and needed. He and Saint ended up moving in his bedroom at the time. And now that I think about it, I wasn't thinking about it back then. Now that I think about it, it was like we were giving Brad X a lot of closure at the time because his best friend had just died, and now he had these two young kids that were 10, 12 years younger than him that had moved in to the bedroom where his best friend just passed away, where his best friend's spirit was. And maybe, you know, and we were writing music. We started bringing these songs up there. And I think that kind of helped Brad get through a lot of that at the time, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But that's where Royal Highness was written for like the third time was right there in Hollywood in Brad X's apartment. And Brad X was actually touring with Humble Gods at the time. He's like, yeah, I'm going on tour for a month. And we were living at his house at the time. We're like, all right, we're going to finish writing this record. When you get back, we're going to shop it. We're going to shop the shit. So all the majors, we're going to get a record deal. So he went out, Hollywood Records. He was signed with Hollywood Records at the time, Brad X. And me and Say were finished writing our record. And Brad, he didn't really have no attention to getting in our band. He was doing his own thing. He was just kind of wanting to be more of the manager at the time. Manage the band and stuff like that. Of course, we got a record deal. And it was cool. We got a record deal. There was tons of, record companies, fighting for Kottonmouth Kings. We ended up signing with Capitol at the time. So that was the birth of Royal Highness. It was happening fast. And it was about experiences in Orange County, in LA, in Riverside, and we wrote it all in that little piece right there. And Saint is the godfather of Kottonmouth Kings in the way we rap. And I just came off him, like Saint was like, "No, you come like this." He would be like, I'd be like, "I'm gonna come like this," but no, come like this, write it like this. I'm like, all right, I'll change it up. He's like, check it out. And so we started just vibing, and that's how, like, I'm D-Loc, I'm saying doggy, feeling real fried. We started just really, really getting that style back and forth, and I started experimenting with my voice at the time, like making it like really high pitch, like rapping really high pitch and trying to make something stand out, like unique and. But so and that's what kind of. And here we are, still pushing the music, some of the stuff that, that Royal Highness set the tone for. Then we wrote a lot of music after that with Johnny Richter, Brad X, and so on and so on. So yeah man, shout out to Royal Highness for sticking in there 27 years, rocking people's house parties.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
And everything. So it's pretty cool to hear stories about Royal Highness by the fans. And like, I'm still rocking Royal Highness, 20-something years later.
For sure.
I'm
still trying to find a copy on vinyl. I never found
lamp
one.
right here. You can see.
Oh, that's tight.
So shout out to Royal Highness.
Damn, that's a sick ass lamp.
So that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
I'm still trying to find a copy on vinyl. I never came across one that wasn't like, crazy.
Well, Capitol owns it. So if Capitol's not making then it's not around unless somebody's bootlegging it.
Yeah, it's fucking hard to find. Hey, people are telling me that we're getting a lot of lag. I'm guessing it's because of the, trying to fit the video or whatever. So if you don't mind, we might do the rest of this just with audio on your end.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. So if we can, we'll smoke a bowl right now that I have you on the camera. We'll take another hit real quick, and then we'll hang up and I'll give you a call back just on audio, and then we'll get to the Q&A part of the night. Sound good?
All right. Yeah.
All right,
smoke
man.
a bowl.
Yes, sir. Give it a countdown.
No, you give it the countdown, Jeff.
I'll give it a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2. Everybody join us. 1. Let's go.
Blast off.
Oh yeah. All right, buddy. I'll give you a call right back, bro. Guys, sorry about the lag. I'm gonna do my best to fix that issue. Here, I'm just gonna give Loc a call just on regular audio.
Oh, there.
Yo.
Hello?
Hello.
Yo, bro. Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right.
All right. Sorry about that, bud.
No, I can hear you better now. It's louder.
All right, we're gonna make it work, man. um, so yeah, that was tight, man. There was a lot of info there that you just shared that I think a lot of people never heard. That's pretty sweet. I know.
Is it too much info or no?
No, that was perfect, man. There's people in the chat that one guy said that you blew his mind because I agree. This whole time I think we all thought that was actually Haas on the other end of that line.
No, that was Saint doing both voices.
Oh wow, I had no idea. I always assumed that it was Haas calling from jail.
No, it was Saint doing Haas's voice, and we just put a telephone effect on it in the studio back in the day, and it was dope, man. Yeah, dude.
Wow, that's cool. So I'm gonna try to have Donald from For the Record jump on here in a few. Obviously we're having some trouble here tonight, but there's still a lot of people watching, and the audio's just as good. So let's I guess we'll jump to the Q&A portion if you don't mind, bud. We can get that going.
No, go ahead.
Cool, man. I'm kind of just gonna go down the line. I got some questions from people and whatnot. Some of them are obviously a little heavier than others, but one question that a lot of people seem to ask was they want to know how to get you as a feature on like their stuff.
It's weird. Like I don't do a lot of features. I don't know why. Because I'm always working on Kottonmouth stuff, or I always got like that in my head, and I'm always just like passing on. Because I get asked to do a lot of features all the time, and it's really cool that people ask me, and I'm super honored, to be asked, to do a feature. But I might start doing them. Like I'm thinking about doing one here coming up, and this guy asked me, and thinking about doing it, and so yeah, man. Anybody wants a feature, you can just email me or shoot me a DM and bug me and tell you. I get so many DMs. I'm sorry, my it's completely filled up all the time. So I'm sorry to anybody out there listening if I haven't returned your message or got back with you or answered your question, because I'm constantly trying to find time. You guys all know that can be a full-time job, just answering questions and sitting on your phone all day, like doing that stuff. So at least for me, because I get so much of it. So excuse me if I haven't. But so yeah, anybody wants a feature, I'll check it out. I gotta vibe the project for one. I don't just like jump on anybody's stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm totally cool with it. I'm honored that people ask me to do that, and I'm not trying to be a dick by not doing any of them, because shit, like I could have made good money, man. People ask me like, hey, let me give you $1,500, let me give you $2,000. Like,
yeah,
I've been asked 50 times. I could have made 50, 100 grand on features, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
But
man.
I haven't done it, and maybe I will.
It's like you said, man. You gotta vibe it. If you ain't vibing it, fuck it, right?
Yeah, vibe it out.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of in the vein of that question, someone else wanted to know what keeps you inspired after all these years.
I'm 46, man. Just life, I'm so inspired by what we've created, what Kottonmouth, I'm just proud. I'm a proud dad of the baby of Kottonmouth, just Kottonmouth, what we've created inspires me, just to keep going, and I'm very proud of it, and there's a lot of life left in it, and I don't just, when you stop throwing, wood on the fire, it's going to burn out, slowly but surely it'll burn out. When you stop paying attention to something, you're going to forget about it. So I'm super, but when I go on the road and stuff these days, one thing is like, damn, like when I'm out there, grinding, doing shows, talking to people, shaking hands, just going to the merch booth, seeing the light in people's eyes when we come out and rock shows, or they're singing, and seeing people forgetting about their everybody got problems, forgetting about their problems, being in the moment, smiling, glistening, you know what I mean? Their face is shining, when they go to
Yeah.
Cottonmouth shows. They're having a good time. Like, just out there. Like, I'm like, damn, we've created something very special, and I appreciate it more now. Being 100% sober and not drinking at all for the past couple years, and it's just been it's cool because I really appreciate it, what we've created. We spent our whole life and put many hours on the road traveling with Kottonmouth Kings, and so that inspires me. Like, I'm loyal. I'm a very loyal person. I'm loyal to the ground, like, very loyal person. Like, I am. Like,
Oh yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm loyal to the crown, and when it's yours, and you're there from the birth, and you've been there from, and you look around and you're like, damn, like,
Yeah.
there's only like a couple original members left, like, in the whole shit. Like, there's not a lot of people left. Like, sometimes when I was doing shows with Damn Dad and those guys, when you look around, I'm like, damn, there's not one original member here. It's weird. It's weird, but what inspires me is what we've created. The people hearing the messages, what people, thank you, Loc, for keeping it going. Like, I get that so much. People thank me. Like,
fuck yeah.
10% of the time it's like, fuck you, Loc, you've ruined the legacy.
Yeah.
But 90% of the time it's like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
So there's a small percentage that still haven't figured out growth yet.
Yeah. For sure.
But
hear that
but
shit.
besides that, it's the people, the music, the faces, the stories, the all the experiences, like, just it's really cool, and I really appreciate it, what we've done, and I respect it. There's so many hours that's been put into this, more than people know, in the dark, when no one's around, manifesting the next coolest thing, the next record, or coming up with the next things, being on the road with the guys. It just, all of it inspires me. All of it inspires me.
Fuck yeah, man. I think that's
even the people that tell me to stop and stop doing it. They inspire me too. To keep shoving it down their throat. Like, shut the fuck up.
I think that's a sentiment shared by a lot of the fans too. Like, that's why they're still listening. For all the same reasons.
To say the least, though, I can tell you this: it's been rough seas the past few years with Kottonmouth. We've been in rough waters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah.
But the ship hadn't sunk yet, and maybe there's a few pirates that jumped off the ship that aren't on the ship no more. But the captain, but the ship's still rolling. The captain's very focused on the ship, and he's been focused, and that's why it never tipped over in the rough seas. And now I can honestly say, and you can honestly say, you can probably vouch for me, and everybody can probably vouch for this, is that things have turned around, and the seas aren't as rough as they were anymore.
Yeah.
And they're smoothing it out, and people are understanding life and growth and human beings and things don't always work out. Things don't always work out like they seem, and be thankful, and there's no egos, and like, people are understanding things happen in friendships and in families and relationships and bands and jobs and work, and it ain't all I'm your best friend, let's keep going, I'm sorry brother, let's keep moving. Things happen, and that's just reality. It don't always work out like that. So the people that understand that can understand the growth and where it's going and why we haven't stopped. And the comments are a lot more positive these days, and the respect is up. The respect is starting to come back a lot, and there's a lot more people coming to our shows that want new music that we got recorded, that's coming out soon, and that are happy of what's going on right now with Judge D and Chucky and and everything that's going on, and how clear-headed we all are, and stuff like that. So things are moving, and the seas are clearing up, and it's been really positive. So it's been fun it's been fun to feel that swinging a little bit, to feel that change of energy. It's been fun because I always knew that it wouldn't stop, that no one could stop it. It just needed to be. It just seems rough, just like anything, you know. And if you just
man,
keep pushing, you know, everything will be okay. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a good way to put it too, man. Like that's actually the perfect fucking analogy. And it's like I've been there. Like I said, I've been watching the whole time. I got to catch. Obviously, the last time we met was at the there at the Legacy Band show y'all guys did in San Antonio, which was something I've always been curious with. You know, things going now. Are we going to be seeing those guys again?
We just did a show with them in Orange County. Chris was playing guitar, and we had Dylan on drums. The drummer's Dylan. He's been doing shows with us for a while. He's a kid from Big Bear, California. It's a local area we're from. He's a little punk rock, heavy metal kid, you know, reggae kid. He can play all kinds of music. He's cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about him too. That new drummer y'all had.
He's a great drummer, man. He's really great at what he does, and he's super cool. He's the guy in the drums that you see. And we just played a show with all those guys, but it's not really, to me, it doesn't really call for that, you know, all the time. Like,
yeah,
Kottonmouth hasn't always had a full band, and it's about other things to me. And I love it's fun doing shows with those guys, but we'll do more shows with them, you know, but not, you won't see them all the time. Out on the road with us and stuff like that.
For sure.
So it was but it was a fun show last week we had with them. So it was great to have Chris on stage and Dylan and stuff. So, and plus I asked Judge D and Chucky, I'm like, hey, you want to rock the live band? You guys want the live band? They're like, yeah, man, bring them on. Like, I love the live energy. So
yeah, I
asked them to read on it, and so I got the guys to play, and it was fun for everyone.
Yeah, it would be tight to, you know, have like the full Legacy Band and then like everybody, including Tax and Dogboy, and like all on the stage at the same time. That'd be so sweet.
It's so fun. I think we did it. We did it a few times. I think. I don't know if we did it once. We did it a couple times. I think.
Damn, I didn't even see footage of that. I need to look that up. So a lot of people too are asking about the new album you say is coming out next year. Is there anything you can tell us about it? Is there any kind of theme or anything like that, or anything you want to share?
Well, there's a new song that we have coming out this year, and it's done right now. We're working on the video treatment.
Sweet.
I don't want to say the name of it.
Yeah.
We're going to record the video in the next couple weeks. That song will be coming out first, and their record's going to drop in 2024. Excuse me, 2024. So, new song and video dropping. You know, then another song and video. Then we have the record coming out in 2024. But we're gonna drop a couple songs and shit like that before it comes out. We don't know what record label it's coming out on yet, or what label. But PTB's gonna be involved. We don't know who we're gonna partner up with or drop it with. But we're still manifesting all those things. There's a lot of cool stuff we got in the future. It's a little harder these days. We all live a little farther apart to record music.
Yeah.
And we can't get in the studio as fast as we used to, stuff like that. We all got kids and family. So, but this month we're going to take a lot of time to get in the studio to finish things up. And we're just working really hard, getting new music done. Speaking of the record, while we're talking about it, we got Mike Kumagai back.
Yeah.
Anybody don't know who Mike Kumagai is?
Hell yeah.
You can go to any one of Kottonmouth King's records and pick your favorite song, and he made the beat for it. Not only made the beat for that song, he made every beat for every song. He made every beat on the Judge D record. He made every beat on the D-Gaff record. He made every beat on the he made every beat for everybody. You know what I mean? And Brad X fucked him too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, to say the least, a little bit, just to be quite bold, real fast, but we don't want to go down that road now. But he's back. Mike Kumigai's back, making beats, and things happen in full circle. Kumi loves what we're doing. We played him the new song, right? Like, the new song we did is over a Kumagai beat. So we're like, sweet. Damn, like, when's the last time me and Judge were like, oh shit, bro, we got a Kumagai beat. When is the last time we recorded over a Kumagai beat?
And it was a long time ago. I think it was like the last record was a Dirtball record we recorded over Kumi beats.
Shit, man, that's tight.
Like Hold It In and all that shit was Kuma Guy. Like those are the last time you heard like any Kottonmouth music over a Kuma Guy beat, and then all that stuff happened. That's Brad X. You got a lawsuit with Kevin Zinger and SRH.
Yeah.
And then all the shit happened, and we stopped recording music with Kuma Guy. So. But Kuma Guy still has a bunch of beats that he made for Kottonmouth.
Oh wow! Yeah.
That he made a bunch of. Put it like this: we were gonna record another record, and when we recorded records, we would get like 25 beats by Kuma Guy. He's like, "Here's the record right here, all these beats. We're gonna make a record from all these beats." He would feed his beats, and we'd make the record out of his beats, right? And then we'd like add some punk songs too with some other people. Next thing you know, you have a Kottonmouth record, but. So Kuma Guy had all these beats for the Kottonmouth Kings' next full-length record we were going to put out in 2016. He already made the beats. He's like, yo, this is the next record. So those beats, we're going to record that record to those beats right now. He's given those beats to and got involved and wanted to be a part of it. Loves what we're doing. Me and Daniel's been in communication with them, loving that Daniels and those guys are a part of it now, and it's great to have them around. They weren't around for a while. They were busy doing their thing. So it's great to have Kuma Guy back.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Back. We have the A-Team back. We have Steve Dang. He's another great producer for Kottonmouth Kings. We have Marco Farconi. He made the song Bump. He's making beats for us. Kumi's making beats for us. Steve Dang's doing a lot of mixing, making beats. So we literally got the A. It's like, for Kottonmouth Kings, sound is Kuma Guy. Like, our whole sound is Mike Kuma Guy. So, like, nowadays, people are buying beats and getting them from everybody. Like, oh, yeah, that was a lot of bass. Let's get that one, And like, oh, let's get this one from that guy. So they're getting all these. But when you listen to Kottonmouth records like that, everything had that same kind of style. Those beats were all made by that same guy. So to have that same guy making beats on our new record speaks a lot of volume. That's like, damn, like they're getting their sound back, bro. Like they got their OG sound back, and fuck, like, so it's dope. Like our new.
Yeah, that's sweet, man. Will it be? Will you be working with Subnoise at all with the new album?
I'm not gonna say blow any things right now.
Yeah.
I know I said I didn't know who. I'm not gonna let you know who we're gonna be partnering up with, but
yeah.
I don't want to drop no bombs on anybody right now.
For sure.
We're always working with Subnoise. Me and Kevin Zinger are good friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we keep it tight. Kottonmouth Kings is not signed by Suburban Noise or anything like that, or they don't manage the band. That's why you never see them posting too much Kottonmouth King stuff on here, or they do on their Instagram. They post a lot of Kottonmouth King stuff. They do a lot. They do a lot of Apocalyptica stuff. They do Kottonmouth throwback memorabilia stuff. And Kevin's really cool. Always shouting out the band. And
oh yeah, man. I just talked to him earlier.
Shouting out SRA, and like I'm always posting about them and reposting their shit. Me and Kevin are super cool. We've been through a lot, to say the least, and we're still friends, so that's pretty special. So it's awesome. We'll be doing a lot of stuff. I know they're preparing to do some Subnoise parties coming up, and get involved with those.
Yeah, I just talked to him earlier. He told me to tell you. He said, "What up?" He's he's seen Metallica right now. That's where he's at.
Yeah, dude. He's out and about.
Let's see. Do you do any work directly with Cleopatra Records as far as them releasing stuff? Like, do you have any say on anything with them?
No, but Cleopatra Records, that's who. When all this shit happened, that's who owns the Kottonmouth Kings catalog on Suburban. Anything that was ever released on Suburban Noise Records, Cleopatra owns that now.
Yeah. Brad
X sold that catalog to him.
Yeah.
Capitol Records owns the first 4 records put out.
Yeah, I always wondered if they like reached out to you to, help with artwork or anything.
Cleopatra Records. I've talked to them. They're I work with them. They I work with those guys directly, like still to this day. Like they work with me, and they're a part of my my everything. You know what I'm saying? So they own all the music. So they're involved in what we're doing on some level. They own the catalog of Kottonmouth Kings. So they own our music. You know what I'm saying? So they're involved in all kinds of things and royalties and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because like I think like that first like kind of greatest hits album they put out, I think everyone was kind of like, what was it? What is this?
But they can do what they want. Like I have no say in what they can do.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of, which I wish I did. And like, cause sometimes like like I wish I did have say, and I don't. They can release anything they want, when they want, how they want.
Yeah.
They can grab any song off any record from any one of those records they own and put together any type of compilation music and name it whatever they want and put it out. They can drop music like they're allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So
that Cleopatra Cell included your album as well that just came out on vinyl from them?
Yes, the contract that was sold to them by Brad X, I was attached to it somehow. My solo stuff, so they got that too, and they can do whatever they want with that too. And I wasn't around to make those calls because Brad all did that behind my back, even though that I was, a big owner of Kottonmouth Kings, and now I'm full owner. But back then I owned 50% of Kottonmouth Kings. So, when you're a partner with somebody, you gotta tell them kind of what you're doing when you're 50% partner in a business with somebody. And even though you might have been the managing partner on the contract or whatever, but he never said those things like I thought he should have, and did all that behind my back. So they do have all the D-Loc stuff, Yeah. Like I don't have that, but they have that.
Okay. And like I feel like personally, I feel like you've said your piece already is on Brad X, and as far as what's going on with you and Richter now. So I mean, I don't know if you'd want to touch on that anymore, but one thing I'm kind of interested in is what's the deal with Bobby B? Like that dude has nothing but venom for everybody, man, and it's like I always wondered if you have anything to say about that.
Well, I mean, Bobby B, there's a couple people that need some help, to say the least. That Bobby B is one of them. Some counseling probably, and to be quite frank, and Richter, other one for his addictions. To be quite honest with you, no one wants to see anybody kill themselves.
No, yeah.
Richter to get help for himself for number one. So, Bobby B, me and Bobby B have always been homies back in the day. We've always smoked a lot of bud and hang out and had a good time. And, when I started hanging out back in the early days of Kottonmouth Kings, we got a record deal. And I was, hanging out on Bobby, sleeping on his couch a lot and hanging out in the South Bay. That's where I met Chucky and Gillies, all those guys. Like in early 2000, I met all those dudes and hanging out. Bobby's always been cool, but I don't know. Bobby thinks everybody owes him money or something, or like
yeah.
But Bob, there's no, But to get another thing clear, Bobby B didn't make it. People go, Bobby B's the man. Like Bobby B never made one beat on Kottonmouth Kings record. He made a couple beats, but none of the songs you would really know, like just some like underground songs, like some remixes, and he made his own beats for his own artists and some stuff like that. But he never made any Kottonmouth Kings beats or nothing like that. Bobby B was, he was a hired member by Suburban Noise Records. He was never part of the Kottonmouth Kings partnership. He was a hired member, and Bobby thinks I don't know, Bobby B just, he went on the internet and just never called anybody. If you have something to say, like you got something to say, just call me or call Zinger or call Richter or call Daniel or call Brower.
Yeah.
Whoever you got to talk, Chuck, whoever it may be, just call them. And Bobby's, he's a man, but he goes on the internet and just, fucking runs his mouth and just speaks his mind. And to me, all he's doing is just hurting the legacy, the band, everything we've created. When it just takes a phone call to call somebody if you got a problem.
Yeah.
And if you think somebody owes you money, show me how I owe you money. Show me where I owe you money. Show me the paperwork that says you're owed money in this way. And like, show me everything so I can understand where you're coming from. And if you're just venting because you're pissed off, mad at yourself because you didn't, have a personal manager look over your own career as you walked your way through Kottonmouth Kings like you probably should have, instead of, at least get somebody to help you, so you could ask them questions along the way. And now you have so much bad stuff to say about everybody. It's pretty sad that, and then he's like, goes on, he's selling Kottonmouth Kings skateboards and fucking, Kottonmouth Kings this, D-Loc that, and blah, blah, fuck everybody. But at the same time, he's like, pay to watch me spin Kottonmouth music and buy my Kottonmouth skateboards while I run my mouth about the guys and tell everybody how bad everybody is. But, I'm here to, Daniel's here, we're all here. We're here to fix all that. We don't want to. That's what we're doing now. We're cleaning all that up, all that mess.
Yeah.
In putting the spirit back in Kottonmouth Kings in a positive way through new music, good shows, hanging out, good vibes, and letting the truth be told. No one knows Bobby shit. No one knows Bobby nothing. Bobby's not owed no money by me. Johnny Richter's not owed money. He's not owed no money by me. And no one's owed shit. Only thing they're owed. They're owed. They need to owe something to themselves. They need to go get seen. They need help, and they need to do what they need to do as human beings for themselves. That's what they owe to themselves. They need to take care of themselves a little bit, and that's my honest opinion. And but I don't let none of that shit affect. Try not let it affect me too much. Bobby's never once tried to call me or reach out to me, but he sure has a lot to say to me on the internet.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So that kind of sucks a little bit. I thought we're a little tighter than that, but I guess we're not. He has his own feelings, But Bobby B's always been like, we used to joke and call him Whiny B, because those used to whine all the time. We used to joke, call him Whiny B, Pac, and everybody used to call him Whiny B, Whiny B. He's always whining and complaining, and he's still whining and complaining, and he's doing a lot of it, and it's starting to it's like, bro, you're still, do something with your life, bro. Do something, grow as a human being.
Yeah.
Get over it, learn, accept it, move on. And be a better person and understand and growth. And so he don't want to, he's still just the same old Bobby B, I think he's 50, 55 or something, 54.
Yeah, man. And it's like I was saying in the last stream, it's like you're going on you're cleaning up the mess. Like you said, you've been touring nonstop for a few years now. Going on another year. Sorry,
I think people respect Bobby B a little more if he was a little more positive.
Yeah, it's like you said, you want talk to him.
And just DJ'd his nightclubs and continue on his career and if he just move on as a human being, and I think he would get respected a lot more.
It's very strange. It's like a lot of, this is honestly my opinion, blah blah blah, but I've never been anything but respectful of the dude. I've asked him to come on the show a few times, and he can have his perspective, whatever. Like that. I'm a fan of the band, of the group. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Bobby B. I'm a fan of all these guys, but they make it pretty hard. Like I told him I was going to be doing this interview with you, and that if he had anything to say, like let me know, and that he can come on and give his part of the story later on some other time. You know, my platforms was always open, and he sent me back a pretty salty message, you know, saying that I basically let you guys come on the channel and tell lies, and that like not once have I had anyone on to tell the truth. And I'm like, dude, how many times have I asked you to come on? And how many times has everyone else, like you and Zinger, said, like, let's talk, we'll do it wherever you want, and he never wants to.
Yeah, like I'm here to tell I'm not here to, I want to say a lot of the birth of Kottonmouth, like it's so I'm not here to lie or talk shit. I'm here to just tell people, kind of explain a little bit what happened, and if they whatever, like, you know, I'm moving forward, you know, like I learned a lot, you know, from all that stuff, and I accept what happened, and it's my fault for this and my fault for that, and I could have done a lot different, you know, and watched my back a little more and stuff like that. But you know what, I've learned, and I moved on, and I'm happy with myself, and you know, my family and stuff, and who I've become and what I am.
For sure.
And, so I keep, you know, so none of that, you know, I don't really, all that stuff don't really bother me too much. So I don't go talk about it all the time, like Bobby.
Yeah. And it's nice to see everyone moving on, especially like a lot of the fans. And you know, you have like y'all guys did the gathering and shit. You know, it seems like a long journey from the ICP investigates thing they did to you guys on the stage at the gathering. Like, it's nice to see, like you said, people are moving along. The movement's picking up a lot of steam again. It's really and to see you be able to be on the stage again with like Chucky and everyone, and it's just like, it's like progress can be made if you don't hold it back, and if you're not hell bent on just talking shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god.
You know what it is, and it's really, it's about the formula, right? Like coming up with the right formula, and now that we're all present in each other's lives again, great things can happen. We've all been friends for a very long time. Me and Judge have been friends since grade school. Me and Chucky's been friends for well over 25 years. So 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
2000. So it's been a while, 23 years. You know, so it's great to have all of us recording music, you know.
For sure.
We're friends for you know, so like being on the road, laughing, joking, we have a lot of respect for each other. Those guys, you know, they have a lot of respect for me for keeping it going, and they're very thankful. You know, I own all the intellectual property in Kottonmouth Kings, and so they're so thankful that we can still do this and do Kottonmouth Kings, and you know, no, I never gave up on it and stuff like that. And so it's cool to hear those guys say that to me. Yeah. I know me and Chucky, we've had some problems and in the past, but that's okay. People, you know, people do that. You know, friends go through problems, and sometimes people are always in the right place, in the right mind frame all the time, or people are, you know, doing this too much or that too much, and getting inspired the wrong way, or not being inspired at all, or just whatever. So me and Chucky, we've had a lot of conversations, and it just takes a phone call.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a little phone call to explain yourself, and but it's cool too. I got a lot of love for Chucky.
Hell yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done,
most definitely.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of conversations, and it's great to have Chucky. He's been a great fan of Kottonmouth. He's been so down with KMK. He's been in our camp forever, and to have his presence around is fantastic. He's he's super loyal to the crown in Kottonmouth Kings, and so it's cool to have all the guys, Taxman,
yeah, hell yeah,
on stage, and it's dope, man. We have a lot of, the shows have a lot of energy. You know, people are like, damn, well, you guys got a lot of energy, man. The shows are wild, like. So we're bringing a lot of energy, and we're having fun. We're enjoying the journey. We're growing. we don't know. We're just growing from here, you know, and it's not going down. It's just going up. So that's all we're doing is taking it as far as we can take it, working with the people who are present with themselves in life and want to work with the people, you know, that want to be around people that inspire them and not people that bring them down. You know, it's hard to be around people. So being around Judge and Tax and Chucky, you know, Gillies is always in the mix, and it's just really fun. It's really fun. It's been a long journey, brother.
For sure, man. Yeah.
It's been a rough few years, and I've taken a lot of shots, you know, social media and this and that, but I've always had fun along the way, and I've always been really positive about it.
Yeah, for
I've always knew since day one, Kottonmouth Kings was gold. It was golden from day one, and that feeling's never left me, and I'm never gonna, just. I've always been the owner of Kottonmouth Kings. Even back in the day on Royal Highness, I've always was like the owner. Me and Saint, Brad, and then Saint left. Me and Brad owned it, and we owned the whole thing. And like, I've always been an owner / MC / everything. So there was never any plans to throw it away or get rid of it. It was like it just needed to be repaired the right way, you know.
Sure, most definitely.
And now that we got all the right people around us, and you know, and we're doing the right things, and it's just moving forward, and it's fun, and that's what's important. It being fun. That's the key word, is enjoying going to the studio, laughing, joking, enjoying writing these songs with the guys, recording them, enjoying these 5, 6, 7 hour drives on the road, and because all that time is spent away from our family and our kids. So if I'm not really enjoying the time or truly loving the people I'm around, you won't really see me hanging out with those people too much, because my time is around the people I love, and that's where I like to spend it around. I don't like to spend it around people that bring me down, people that don't walk the path I walk, people that do drugs, party, you know, all like, you know, having fun, hanging around your homies who live the same life as you and walk the same paths and have the same outlooks and goals with the music and the band and stuff like that. Those are the people like I want to be around when I'm on the road, and we're all having fun, you know, being around each other. And so that's what's making it cool, and that's what's always making the show fun, because we're truly having fun doing it. We're not forcing it.
Yeah, you can tell too. Like, you can totally tell. And you know, I mean, I get what you're saying about not being surrounded by negativity and whatnot, especially if you're going to be stuck in a van with them. Like, it all makes sense. But would you say, like, just to wind things down now, I guess, would you say that there's like an open door policy for all past members, or would you allow an official reunion if everyone were to say they were down?
You know what? Before I can answer a question like that, I think people need to get help first and prove to themselves and each other that there can be chance of that. But if there's not any change in the diet, then the same thing, there's going to be the same outcome. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if he's still doing this and he's still doing that, and he you know, and he's over there doing that, then there's no one's proven anything to anybody. And before any of those conversations can be held, people need to prove to themselves by leading by example that things are better. And I think that's the only thing that you can start with is seeing those individuals lead by example. And we all weren't born yesterday. We all know. We all can tell a tweaked out chicken and a sober chicken, right? Like, so until you can recognize change and with people and stuff like that, and people's characters and how they talk to people, then maybe those conversations can be had. But there's a lot of proving to do.
Yeah, for sure. That's a, I mean, that's a perfect way to answer that question, honestly. um,
But you know what? Fuck, it is what it is. We're working with the people that we have around us
yeah,
that are walking that want to be there and doing the things that that everybody agrees on, and we're all walking the same path, walking the same light together. Like there's not a lot of people left. Yeah, they're all around, but
yeah,
Brad X don't talk to anybody because he did everybody dirty. He's not around.
yeah,
He no, that's why he doesn't talk to anybody, because he's scared to open his mouth. Probably, you know what I mean. I don't know.
yeah,
Like he did me really bad. He did, so I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that.
yeah,
That's, we all. I don't want. Me and Richard don't talk because we don't do the same things. We walk a different path. You know what I'm saying? We don't. It's hard for us to vibe
yeah,
when we're vibing on different life levels, and like the way we carry ourselves as human beings, and in the way we treat ourselves and stuff like that. Like, so we don't vibe like that. So we're not surrounding ourselves. We're not forcing the situation just because we want to make a quick buck. We're there because we want to be there, doing the right thing. We can sleep good at night. Just knowing that the people around you, you love and truly got love for you, and they're your friends, and it's so that's what we're doing. Like, we're not doing anything else at this point. We're doing all the right things for ourselves and our body and our
yeah,
growth, and sometimes you don't always walk the same path as other people.
for
And if
sure.
I don't walk the same path as this guy, I'm not going to go hang around the fucking drunk guy at the bar. Why? Because I don't drink. 2, I don't hang around at bars. 3, he acts like an idiot. 4,
Yeah.
like 5 and 5 and 6 and 6. So it's like, we just got to do what's right for yourself. And first and foremost, it's about you first, and you can't worry about fucking, salvaging it for everybody else.
Yeah,
You got to worry about yourself and the people you surround yourself by, so you can continue to be inspired and do music the proper way and do what you want to do without being brought down.
yeah, man, for sure. Hey, do you still hear from Dirtball at all?
It's weird because me and Dirtball were pretty good friends, but me and Dirtball smoked a lot of bud together, hung out a lot on the bus. But he was really more close with Brad X, I would say, and Dirtball was. When Dirtball got in the group, I never even know Dirtball was going to join the group. He got in the group kind of behind my back. Brad X never even told me, "Oh, this guy's going to join the group, and we're going to record a record." I never really knew he recorded a record. That, like, I was like really shocked that he was even in the group.
Oh, wow.
So, friends with Brad at the time. And when Dirtball joined the group, Johnny Richter left the group. And it was like, oh, Rick, well, I'm going to bring Dirtball in to write records and da-da-da-da, because, D-Loc and Richter can't write records no more or whatever. That's kind of Brad was thinking at the time. I don't know what's going to happen to Richter. He's kind of off the chain, and, so I'm going to bring him in to write records. I'm like, I didn't really know what was going on. So he was always homies to Brad, and Dirtball. Me and Dirtball were friends, but there was a lot of like behind the scenes shit me and Dirtball always had for each other that wasn't really natural to say. It was always this kind of like battle type thing with each other. He was always kind of. I saw him looking at Brad a few times on stage and doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
To me, like when I rap and do this, and then I thought he was rapping about me in some of his verses in Kottonmouth songs. I caught wind too. So I was like, oh yeah, those bars are about me, and so on and so on. But we didn't really talk about that the whole time we kicked it, or whenever he was trying to smirk at Brad to me on stage about how I was rapping or something. Like, So me and Dirtball had a cool relationship, but there was a lot of closed door shit happening at the same time we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
So
Oh, shit.
it was cool. But at the same time, me and Dirtball, we were like when Brad X was like fucking everybody, we were like, hey, I'm out to Bo now. 2016, I was like, yeah, brother, if shit don't change, I'm gonna stop doing Cottonmouth right now until me and Brad have a conversation and we had some things out, like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
me and Dirtball always kicked it pretty hard, but at the same time, I knew that there was a lot of like jealousy, battle type shit going on at the same time, you know, while he was in the group, you know. So we haven't spoke one time since the departure, since everybody left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know he's been steady touring and whatnot. But hey, man, I always thought that the Dirtball era of KMK was a little strange myself. It's not my favorite, you know. So it's like I don't really care if he ever comes back or not. So it is what it is.
Love Dirtball. Like Dirtball's a cool person, but Kottonmouth Kings never had that swag to it. It never had that style. It was a different type of flow, different swing.
For sure.
And that tell you that wasn't a group decision. That was a decision that was made by Brad X behind everybody's back.
Yeah.
And that's why that happened. You know what I mean? He didn't ask his partner, hey, do you mind if we bring this guy in the group? You know, hey, I own 50% of the band. Don't you think you should ask your business partner, hey, bro, do you mind if I bring this dude in the group or what? Like, those conversations weren't had. You know what I'm saying? So, pretty fucked up, huh?
Yeah, for real. I mean,
Dirtball was a fan and of Sub Noise, and Kottonmouth Kingdom started sending all his music to Sub Noise, and they put out a record of him, and the next thing you know, he joined the group.
Yeah, it happened out of nowhere. I remember. I thought it was.
But that was all Brad X doing that shit behind everybody's back, and none of the members were like, "We want him to be in the group." We didn't agree on any of it. He just joined.
Yeah, I always thought that was a strange era. Like, I mean, I much prefer what's going on now than that. But
yeah, me too. It was always a weird era to me.
Yeah,
and it hit me in a weird spot.
For sure.
It took me a long time to swallow that one. I'm like, why is no? I ended up meeting Dirtball and becoming a great friend, a cool friend of mine. So it's like, but I never can figure out why he entered the group. I was like, why?
Yeah.
For what? It's 2008 or 9, and our shit's banging.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere.
2009, and all of a sudden you bring in somebody to enter. I was like, why? Like, we just got done doing King Spade and Who Runs This Motherfucker. We were writing good songs at the time. I'm like, we didn't need anybody to write any music. Like I think Brad was worried, like himself. Like,
yeah, makes sense.
But like, Brad X always wanted Judge D to join the group. Back in the day, he's like, yo, we're in the parking lot one day. Me and Judge D had a bunch of music. We have a project called Up, so a bunch of songs we recorded we were going to release back in the day.
Yeah.
I got to get some water in my voice from these rips. And Brad X was like, yo, I want to start like get more into like working at the record label, managing the group. And I want you to fill my shoes, Judge. So there's going to be a day when you're going to take my shoes. But we don't know when. Like,
that would have been tight.
So, but he's here now, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, that was always kind of meant to happen to me.
I always thought that'd be tight, yeah.
Because Brad X had that conversation with me and Judge a couple times, bro. Like, a few times. Like, hey, I want you to take my spot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to start getting involved in, like, you know, the record label side of things. And I don't want to tour anymore. And So, Judge is here now, which is great.
Fuck yeah.
Lot. To me, I like it better than the Dirtball era just because it's more of the Kottonmouth flow, sound.
Yeah.
He was there before Dirtball.
Definitely.
I think Judge D was the very first record that was ever put out on Sub Noise, was like Victimize, I think, or something like that. Or no, Judgment Time or something like that.
Yeah, man. I love what's going on now. I think it's awesome. You guys, you know, kept, like you said, kept going through the storm, going through the fucking heavy waters. It's fucking tight. We're about at the end, bro. If you have anything else you want to say, everyone's still out here listening for you. That's about all the main questions I had, though.
Right. No, I just want to thank everybody, all the fans that are tuning in, all the fans that are going to eventually listen to this, that understand, life and music and people and relationships, and all the that are still supporting what we're doing as we grow. It's harder to get out the house and go to shows, but the people who still support it tell their friends about it, their kids about it, and just I want to thank all those people for still tuning in, and everybody, basically all the people that supported Kottonmouth Kings, listened to our music, streamed our music, watched one of our videos, bought a T-shirt, went to a show. Shit, whatever on our behalf, somehow, some way. Just want to thank all those people that supported it throughout all the years. It's very special, and there would be no Kottonmouth Kings music, legacy, all these records, if we weren't making it and the people weren't supporting it. So it's a group effort. It's like if we were making music and they weren't supporting it, there weren't to be this long of a career that we've had. So the people that supported our music, I know our Facebook used to have over 1 million followers, and it's lost, like 7,000 followers. But all the people, it's a mutual relationship, and it takes both of us to make this work. For any band, all their fans that's the world, man. Like for artists, and that's the most highest, compliment, is people going to your shows, telling you something about your music, appreciating what you do, spending money, on your site, supporting what you do. That's the ultimate for an artist, is to get that support by their fans.
Yeah.
And to have people enjoy the music is really cool. So just thank all those people for hanging around and understanding and supporting the music throughout the years, and making Kottonmouth Kings the crazy band history that we've created. We definitely are still etching our mark in this world of music and bands. And at the end of the day, we're going to have a pretty thick one, the Kottonmouth Kings, and what me, Daniel, and Chucky are doing. This is the new era of Kottonmouth Kings.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a lot of eras of Kottonmouth Kings, past members, people come and people go. And this is a new chapter, no different than the Dirtball chapter. It's no different than that chapter. It's different, but it's just a different time.
Yeah.
Different people are writing it, and it's very exciting. And I hope those people still are enjoying following and reading the book of Kottonmouth Kings. They're going to read this new chapter that me and Judge and Chucky, we all write together, and continue to write the story out for Kottonmouth Kings as it unfolds. I'm thankful that the legacy is strong, and people support and go to our shows. And I hope they get out and go to our shows and support the music when it gets released, and watch the videos, because it's been a wild ride, and it's been a fun journey for everybody. And the plan is to keep going as long as we can. And I have a lot of energy, and so does the other guys, and we're having fun. So that's all that matters. So thank everybody for all the great memories, time, and there's a lot more to come.
Yeah,
a lot more memories to come, a lot more stuff to do with this new chapter, and so on and so on and so on. So it's going to be fun. So thank you for spreading the good news and all kinds of cool stuff. Much love, everybody. Much love,
man.
Uncle D-Loc.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for everything. Tell all the guys that said what's up, and I hope to see y'all down in Texas.
Well, we're going to get down there, and when we do, you're going to be the first one to know.
Fuck yeah, man. Looking forward to that, buddy. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Have
Peace,
a good night.
everybody. Love. Bye.
All right. Well, that was interesting. I didn't have really any more questions for him. Like I said, I think everyone was waiting for me to get into like all the dirt and whatnot. But I think, like I told him, like I think we've heard enough about X and him in between him and Richter. I'm glad he touched on it anyways. I wasn't gonna bring up just a bunch of crap, but I was interested in what Bobby B had what he had to say about Bobby B. And you guys did send in a lot of questions. A lot of them obviously were everyone kind of wants to know the same thing, put it that way. So I did my best to kind of get through the gist of them, and I assumed that D-Loc was going to talk about a lot of this stuff anyways. So I just I think it worked out pretty well. I'm very sorry about the delay earlier. That was not my fault in particular. Like, we're on different time waves here, me and Loc, different states. Things ran late. I didn't get to have Donald come on. I'm very sorry, Donald. We'll do something soon. My bad, man. I really tried. I kept trying to call you too, and it just wasn't going through. And with the lagging and everything, I'm assuming that's why. But everyone go check out For the Record. Shout out to Judge and Tax for popping in the chat there. That was tight. I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes to try to catch up with the chat here. What do you guys think? Was that overall satisfying? Obviously, I'm a fan. Obviously, I'm biased on certain aspects to this. I wasn't even trying to hide that. I'm not a hard-hitting reporter. I run a YouTube channel about weird movies and weird music. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I'm not here for any kind of clout. I appreciate everybody that donated, and I really hope that you guys got some info out of this that you wanted, because that was the main reason I wanted to do this, or the main reason I've been wanting to do this. I got to shout out Loc for coming through and calling me, and he's the one that wanted to put this together. And shout out to Loc again for talking for a little longer than I expected from him to. I mean, it's about midnight where I'm at. Matsuyama Alex, I didn't ask him, your question, because I could have easily answered it. Dirtball is still on tour. He's still doing his thing. You can follow him and whatnot. Thank you for your donation, though. I fucking very, very much appreciate that. And we got a pretty good turnout here tonight. I'm not one to spit venom or nothing. I don't care about drama. But now that the Q&A is over and everything, I do want to know, real quick. I know Donald wanted to know if any PTB albums were going to be coming out on vinyl, like the Drip Drops or the 25 to Life. So Loc, if you get to see this, Judge, if you're watching this, maybe relay that to him. That'd be tight. But so like I said, it was a crazy situation. But now that all that is over, I want to share with you the message that Bobby B sent me directly, because it involves you, my loyal viewers. He didn't say Staunch Gang directly. Turns out he doesn't even really know who I am or what I do. Big surprise. I showed nothing but respect to Bobby. I made a few jokes here and there. Like, I made jokes about the entire group, every member of the band at some point. Give it up, man. Like, give it up. It's okay. Are you a celebrity, or are you even a musician? I don't hear any new music. I don't know. But I sent Bobby B a message saying, like, hey, I'm doing this interview with D-Loc. I'm letting you know before nobody knew about it. I told him before anyone knew. And I was like, I just want you to know that you're welcome on the channel anytime. If you want to give your perspective and, you want everyone to know what you have to say, you're welcome anytime. And I also told them, I want you to know that all of us fans respect you. We miss you. You're OG. You're a Kottonmouth King. And no matter what, it's like the respect is always there. People love Bobby B still, I mean, after everything's said and done, I'm still a fan of the old lineup. I'm still a fan of those albums, whatever he had to do on them, But it was on, I shared around the image of, promoting the image you're looking at right now. I shared that on all the Kottonmouth pages, and I got instantly, there was some haters, the same old haters that have been around for, going on 3 years that I've known at least. Well, they're still around, and they're automatically calling out and bringing in hate And then Bobby B himself came in and he said, my name for those of you that don't know is Adon. 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 I get called all kinds of things, but it's Adon. You can call me Adon. But, you know me as Staunch, so let's stick with Staunch. But DJ Bobby B said, didn't call out my actual name, listen up, Adon, or whoever is giving this interview. You want to do interviews like the big boys. I don't know who the big boys are. I'm assuming ICP. I don't know. You want to do interviews like the big boys, but have not once asked the questions to any of those guys you should have been asking. Basically, you had them come on, promote their shit, and tell you what they think you want to hear. Because he knows exactly what I want to hear, Bobby B. He knows everything about me, according to this. Silly stuff. And then he said that I'm not even asking Kevin Zinger any of the questions that need to be answered that would expose him for the fraudulent thief he is. Now, I'm guessing the questions I didn't ask was about fake receipts or Kevin Zinger living off of 99 Rips and Beyond, or all the same shit that he has been putting out there that I do believe Kevin Zinger did respond to. I mean, multiple times, even on the interview with the big boys, as you say. And then he goes on to whine with, you gonna remember all the absolutely true shit I've said and even wrote on this post down below and ask him. You gonna put him on the spot and actually try to get some real answers, or just try to get 20 more followers off interviewing him and let him cruise right on through like everyone else you have interviewed from Subnoise? So everyone else I've interviewed from Subnoise, aside from D-Loc now, who is that? Chucky and Kevin Zinger. So I let them cruise through the interviews, and I didn't ask them the questions that would expose them as the fraudulent thieves that they are. He goes on to say, isn't it a mind fuck that all the fuckery has gone on and you don't have one interview with any of those guys actually telling the truth about any of it? Yeah, but that would be mind fuckery indeed if they're telling me things that I have no reason to disbelieve them aside from you crying on the internet, dude. What the fuck? He goes on to say, what is even the point of your interviews? Maybe it's because you actually don't care about the real KMK. The real KMK being, like, I'm assuming, D-Loc and Saint Dog, or D-Loc, the founding member of the group. I don't know who he's talking about. Which lineup of the group should I be? Is the real KMK, Bobby B? Let us all know. And then he goes on with you only found out about the band a few years ago and have never even been to a real KMK show. That's strange considering 2005 I saw Bobby B on stage with Pakalika and Lou Dog and the rest of the live group and all the guys in Houston, Texas at the Engine Room. I'm sure you remember that. Unless that wasn't the real lineup of KMK. I don't know. You're going to have to get back to me on that, buddy. And then he goes on to say, you are yet to do a real interview with any of the thieves or sellouts. I've only done fake interviews with the thieves and sellouts. Again, the thieves and sellouts he's referring to. Kevin Zinger, Chucky Chuck, and now D-Loc, I'm assuming. The only 3 people I've interviewed. Anyways, then he says, let's see if you can actually ask any questions that he will answer truthfully. And better yet, let's see if you call him out when you know he's lying, because Bobby B knows that I know when he's lying. At no point tonight that I think Loc lied about anything. I think if anything, he held back stuff that he didn't want to put out there, So, what do you guys got to say about that? All I got to say is I'm done respecting the guy. That's for damn sure. He comes after my channel and the people watching and people that I take time out to try to do this stuff with. And he's he's calling them thieves and all this stuff and accusing